in high schools and at the college level. And I was delighted to hear news of the Student Recovery Association here in this community today. So it's nice to know some of those that I'm describing are getting here. We're seeing recovery ministries, churches, and colonies. Churches that in the 1980s, believe me, did not have their arms open and welcome to people who were addicted, and people with HIV are now doing what? Launching aggressive recovery ministries out of these churches. I'm not talking about giving the basement room for a meeting. I'm talking about recovery pastors. I'm talking about people telling recovery stories from the pulpits of these churches. I'm talking about running faith-based recovery support groups like Celebrate Recovery as part of the ministry of the church, talking about people in recovery doing outreach in the community out of these churches. That is, in many ways, without precedent. Let me give you some images here. I want to put this in historical context. In 1976, 52 prominent Americans stepped forward publicly and announced their recovery from alcoholism. It was an amazing moment in history. You know who they were? Some of you remember? We had doctors and lawyers and astronauts and sports figures. Yeah, this was the National Council of Alcoholism's Operation Understanding. And they repeated it again a couple years later. 52 people. I got to tell you, it was an amazing moment in the history of modern recovery to have 52 people stand up and talk not about any affiliation with any recovery fellowship, but to stand up as what? To say, I was once sick, and today I'm well, and my family's well. And you can be too. Recovery is a reality in the lives of a large number of people well hidden in this culture. At that moment, I got to tell you, it was just an amazing moment for me as a person in recovery. If someone would have told me, Bill, in your lifetime, there will be more than 100,000 people in recovery marching the streets publicly every September, and that you'll be part of that. And you'll be standing up, speaking to some of those groups, and looking out, seeing recovering people and their families as far as the eyes can see. Now, some of us seen a whole lot of people in conventions and stuff, right? I mean, we filled the amphitheaters, and it's impressive. That's an amazing experience. But I got to tell you, when you take 15,000 people that just marched in Philadelphia this last month and have them marching on the streets of Philadelphia, as a person, that is a very, very different experience. And that's what we're having. We're having these very, very large recovery celebration events. We're having very assertive recovery advocacy going on. These are people in recovery regularly going to Washington, D.C.